controversy around the statement that has been made by the Kerala Chief Minister, Mr. Pinarayi Vijayan, over triple talaq. Let me take this across to my guests who are with me on the broadcast. Ashwani Dubey, who is an advocate of the Supreme Court, is with us, and also with me is Maulana Masood ul Hassan Qasmi, who is a Muslim scholar. Ashwani, I'll start with you. This statement being made at this time can be read in various ways, whether it is appeasement or for vote bank politics, whether it is actually talking about something that is siding with one community or probably distancing itself from the others. How does one read it, considering the judgment by the court is out there? There is a criminalization that has happened of the triple talaq. Why are leaders then time and again going about talking about it?
Thank you for having me here. It's a complete political statement. Why it is a political statement? Because this talaq-e-biddat was criminalized pursuant to the order of the Honorable Supreme Court, when Supreme Court in Shaira Bano versus Union of India ruled that practice was unconstitutional, as the talaq-e-biddat has been an element of terrible discrimination and subjugation for women of the Muslim community. And what, according to the Muslim law, which is a sacred commitment and contract both, and it is just giving a right to the husbands to get away from the marriage, and that too by uttering only 3 words, leaving away from the marriage, despite the fact that the constitution neither grants any absolute protection to the personal law of any community. The religious practices which has been arrived from the scriptures, and which is arbitrary, unjust, which exempts personal law from the jurisdiction of the legislature. And the second, the Supreme Court in that case has said that the non-bailable and cognizable offense with a 3-year prison sentence will be suffice to stop this kind of practice. And that is why you see talaq-e-biddat was made the criminal offense. Had it not been the criminal offense, that people would have been practicing the same thing which is happening with the talaq-e-ahsan, talaq-e-hasan and other form of marriages. Only talaq-e-biddat has been criminalized, but other marriage and other divorce which is given in the Muslim personal law application is still in practice. And Benazir Hina has approached to the Supreme Court because her husband sent a legal notice practicing, following the practice of talaq-e-hasan. So the dignity and equality of women in general, and that too in Muslim women in particular, especially when it concerns matter of marriage, divorce and succession, that is required. By giving this statement, I am just thinking that he is trying to polarize a vote bank.
Okay.
And so far as comparison with the Hindu Code Bill is concerned, because it is not a criminal offense, it is a civil offense, because after 1954 till now, this has been in practice in the Hindu marriage bill, in the Hindu court bill. Whenever somebody approaches to the court for divorce, then they follow the civil procedure. Wahan ye keh ke nobody can out of the marriage ki talaq, talaq, talaq jaisi cheezein. There is a proper procedure followed in the court, and people follow or approach to the court of law, and court only nullify the marriages.
Okay. Let me bring in Maulana Qasmi at the moment. Thank you so much for that, Ashwani. Maulana Qasmi, saying or uttering talaq at once is not even part of the Quran. The fact that talaq-e-biddat has been spoken about, it has been criminalized by the court. How much of that reference really finds mentions in the holy books?
Yes, that we from the very beginning are not in favor instant triple talaq. And we were supporting to abolish instant triple talaq. Instant triple talaq was against the dignity of the women, against the respect of the women, against the freedom of the women. But only when this law was being made, when this law was being passed in parliament, Islamic scholars and Muslim scholars only advised the government that yes, if some people and if a husband utter instant triple talaq, it is null and void. Okay, but after even uttering triple talaq in one instant, in one go, as per the law, the couple are husband and wife. But so nothing on the ground will happen. What will happen if you put the criminal aspect in that? Husband will go to jail, he goes to jail, and his children, his wife, who will feed them? There was only this, and this is only was Muslim community and Muslim scholar were advising government not to put the criminal aspect into that. Yes, you have very rightly did that the nil and nullifying the instant triple talaq. It is very good. And after the passing this law, after nullifying this law, the number of triple talaq, number of talaq have reduced in our country. This is very, very good.
मौलाना काज़मी, मैं आपसे एक सीधा सा सवाल पूछती हूँ। मौलाना काज़मी, कोर्ट्स को क्यों आना पड़ा? मुस्लिम सोसाइटी में कुरान को बहुत तरीके से डाइसेक्ट किया गया है। जैसा मैंने आपको बताया, ट्रिपल तलाक और इंस्टेंट ट्रिपल तलाक, जिसको मैं तलाक बिद्दत कह रही हूं, वो तो है ही नहीं कुरान में, बट स्टिल पीपल अस्यूम the way they want to dissect the Quran, and they assume these practices, especially prevalent in the sort of lower middle class strata of the society, जिसकी वजह से ये प्रैक्टिस इतना ज्यादा चल रहा था, जिसकी वजह से कोर्ट को आना पड़ा। जबकि ये बात तो बिल्कुल तय है कि ट्रिपल तलाक, इंस्टेंट ट्रिपल तलाक इज नॉट legitimized in the Quran. You can only say talaq once. You have to wait for 3 months, then say it again, 3 months again, if your differences are not taken care of. That's what is mentioned in the Quran, don't you think?
Yes, you are right. लेकिन हर धर्म के लोगों में कुछ लोग जाति करते हैं, कुछ कुरीति आती है, कुछ गलत प्रेसिडेंट सेट कर देते हैं और उनको अलग किया जाता है। और वी आर हैप्पी दैट द गवर्नमेंट, द कोर्ट हैज डिड दिस अवे, द इंस्टेंट ट्रिपल तलाक, विच वाज इंस्टेंट ट्रिपल तलाक, एक बहुत गलत प्रथा थी, एक लानत थी हमारी मुस्लिम समाज की औरतों पर। ये अलग हुआ एंड वी आर एग्री। Nobody came on the street against this law. Nobody came against the court on this issue. Entire Muslim community, by and large, accepted it. And Indian Muslim women are also very happy. So, but only बात ये है कि इसमें क्रिमिनल एस्पेक्ट का रखना, जब तलाक ही नहीं हुई, yes, you can say you have nullified instant triple talaq. Instant triple talaq होने के बाद जमीन पर on the ground nothing will happen. मियाँ बीवी का रिश्ता शादीशुदा का अब भी है, so for which thing we are sending husband to jail? तो इससे क्या होगा? गरीब लोगों पर बुरा असर पड़ेगा, उसके बच्चे घर में पड़े होंगे, उनको खाने के लिए कौन देगा? सिर्फ ये छोटी सी बात थी और कोई बात नहीं थी।
अश्विनी, let me bring you in. All right, मौलाना काज़मी, आपकी बात समझ गई हूं मैं। I'll bring in Ashwani also. Ashwani, the other point that came out of the statement that Mr. Pinarayi Vijayan was making, and something that you left your earlier argument with, was talking about the other community. Here we are also talking about the lower middle class sort of strata that needs or lacks education, because of which they go ahead and sort of dissect the religion that is suiting their needs. What happens to the other religions? Are these practices not there in other religions, whether it is Hinduism, Christianity or Sikhism? Why only go ahead and set aside Muslims and criminalize it is the argument. How much of that really holds water?
The reforms is needed in every religion, be it the Hindus, be it the Christians, or be it the followers of any other religion. Reforms is the need of the hour. Even the reform as of now is needed in the Hindu Marriage Act as well. But since 1955, when Hindu Code Bill, that Hindu Marriage Act was brought into effect, which covers the Sikhs, Jains, Buddhists and Hindus, there is a provision under section 13 of the Hindu Marriage Act, and various subjects with cruelty, the mutual consent divorce or voidable marriages, everything is defined. But so far as, and that was passed, that law was passed after the constitution came into existence, that passed the essential test of the parliament. But here in 1939, the Muslim Personal Law Application Act, which is solely governs on the religious scriptures, and that too by uttering 3 words in Talaq-e-Biddat, the woman does not get any right to go back, live in the house unless and until she follows the other procedure. She gets married with somebody, then she has to follow another process, then she can come back. Here, the Hindu Marriage Act governs the Sikhs and Buddhists. The Muslims follow the Dissolution of Muslim Marriages Act 1939, and the Parsis follow the Parsi Marriage and Divorce Act and the Christians follow the Indian Divorce Act. But that is the civil law. And anybody whosoever wants to get out of the marriage, they approach to the court of law. And here, of course, in the Muslim law or the religious practices, the Shariat practices, if somebody use the word or the practice any other form like talaq and talaq biddat or talaq triple talaq, then they don't have to say, they don't just have to use the word. And that is why the criminalization, why it was a criminalization of triple talaq was need of the hour, because the criminalization of triple talaq cannot be claimed to be without foundation. To be considered a crime, unlawful conduct must have some externally negative repercussions known as the actus reus. And there is a proximate link between a deliberate wrongdoing and resulting damage. So 4 marriages are allowed. Somebody wants to get out of the marriage, can use the 3 words. So the criminal action may deter to some extent by following a practice which is unconstitutional, which is arbitrary, and which is discriminatory. That is why it was criminalized.
Okay. I also feel, Ashwani, that, just saying things when it comes to vis-a-vis a particular religion, you also would agree with me that there is a lot of education, there is a lot of, far-reaching significance to the things that we say. Obviously, making sweeping statements like 4 marriages are allowed, I'm sure people really do not agree with a lot of this in the current context that we are talking about. But yeah, law talks about it differently. मौलाना काज़मी, आप आना चाह रहे थे. जिस तरह से हम तलाक़ बिद्दत की बात कर रहे हैं, उसके बाद ये हलाला की भी बात शुरू हो जाती है. मैंने आपसे एक सीधा सवाल पूछा था कि कुरान क्या कहता है तलाक़ बिद्दत के बारे में, और अब जाके ये जो स्टेटमेंट पिनरई विजयन की तरफ से आया है, जो और रिलीजन्स को भी टारगेट कर रहा है कि उसको अगर मुसलमानों के लिए क्रिमिनलाइज हो रहा है तो बाकी रिलीजन्स क्यों पीछे छोड़े जा रहे हैं, क्योंकि देयर आर इल प्रैक्टिसेस देयर आर देयर इन अदर रिलीजन्स आल्सो. कुरान क्या कहता है तलाक़ बिद्दत के बारे में?
देखिए, मैं तमाम रिलीजन को रिस्पेक्ट करता हूं. मैं हिंदू रिलीजन की भी रिस्पेक्ट करता हूं. मैं उसके बारे में कुछ नहीं कहूंगा. मैं पॉलिटिक्स में इसके नहीं जाना चाहता. मैं ये बात जरूर बताना चाहता हूं आपको, कुरान में ट्रिपल तलाक नहीं है. कुरान में तलाक़ मुग़ल्लज़ा नहीं है. कुरान में तलाक़ बिदअत नहीं है. कुरान में तलाक़ हसन है. ये सच्ची बात है, और ये पूरी दुनिया में है. हर जगह तलाक़ हसन ही होता है. हमारे देश में और कुछ कंट्रीज में कुछ कुरूती थी, उसमें एक इंस्टेंट ट्रिपल तलाक भी था. वो अब खत्म हो गया. उसको जब आपने एक बार नहीं बल्कि 3 बार कह दिया ट्रिपल तलाक और इंस्टेंटली कहा, तो उसमें अब ग्राउंड पर कुछ भी नहीं हुआ. उनकी शादी, द मैरिज वाज नॉट टर्मिनेटेड.
All right, Maulana Kazmi, I'm really sorry. I'll have to interrupt you. I'd like to thank both Mr. Dubey and Maulana Kazmi for joining me.